All right, we are live now, or we're broadcasting our feed to the audience now. We were live before, but
Hello, world.
hello everyone. Welcome to another episode of, or not another episode, another live looking to the episode.
Of Corona Talk.
Your source, for everything Corona.
I wouldn't say that.
Yeah, not yet at least. Dun dun dun. Could
If your children are sick, keep them at home. Do not send them to school. Are there any schools that are still in session right now?
um, good question.
I actually do wonder that. I bet some states probably are. West Virginia, they still have only reported like 2 cases. West Virginia is 1 to 5 cases. And I think that's just because they're not testing.
Yeah, I think that's why.
Up here in the DC area, they're saying I think it's like 200 cases.
I know schools in England are still open, so.
Well, yeah, but that thing I read was from the White House, so England doesn't apply.
Oh, I know. I was just saying. I know English schools are still open. I have a feeling that probably like most states, I'd say, are closed right now.
Yeah, I think that was it Kentucky that already declared they're not reopening schools for
Kansas.
this.
It was Kansas.
Or was it Kansas?
Yeah. All right. Here's a map.
What?
So it looks like Iowa, Nebraska, Idaho, California, Wyoming, and Maine are still the only ones that have some districts open.
California still does?
Yeah.
That's shocking.
And that is it. Everything else is mandated to close except for Kansas, which is closed for the rest of the year.
And they only have 21 cases. Which, I mean, that's not a good number, but like, holy crap. New York's up to 4,500. Actually, 4,600.
I mean, makes sense. There's a lot of population density.
The weird thing is, New York's at 40. It's 4,597. 4,597.
That's less people that are enrolled in the public schools.
California is 652.
Yeah, I think it's just spread to the East Coast a lot quicker. All right, so Puerto Rico is still. Oh, they're closed too. Actually, never mind. I wonder Guam. Alaska's closed. I don't know. How did it spread to Alaska? I don't
It's
get that.
everywhere, man.
And Hawaii?
Actually, is it in Hawaii?
It is in Hawaii. Hawaii's closed. Their schools are closed.
Oh, yeah. 10 cases reported in Hawaii. 6 cases in Alaska.
Alrighty, well, want to start soon, I guess? let's test your audio real quick.
This is a test of my audio. I don't know what to say. I'm just going to keep randomly talking.
That's good.
I'll just read this. Data include both confirmed and presumptive positive cases of COVID-19 reported to CDC or tested at CDC since January 21st, 2020. With the exception
All right, that's
of
okay.
test-
Okay, we're good. 2 hours later. All right, is that enough for you?
This is a test of my audio.
Okay. Try again one more time. Just quickly say something.
What to do if you travel to an area with sustained community level spread internationally or domestically of coronavirus disease, COVID-19.
All right. That's the good thing about this audio.
What to do if you travel?
The good thing about this audio editor is that although your audio is coming in really quietly right now, I'm just seeing how I'll edit it, and it sounds actually pretty good when I edit it, so it's all right. All right, let's get my voice up.
So far. You know what's funny?
Mm-hmm.
When the first big areas to get hit with COVID in Virginia are like my area and around Busch Gardens. And the first thing that went through my head is it's like those are the two spots that the Marines from Quantico go. And the funny thing is if you look at the map now, 95 down to 64 in Richmond, and then 64 out towards Williamsburg and beyond. That's where all the blue is right now. Like that's where almost all the cases are, is along 95 and 64.
That's hilarious.
I'm not saying it's a joke.
I know.
I think it's like it's because there was, I think the first two cases in my county were actually at Quantico, I believe. So that's like what made me think of it, because there was that, and then all of a sudden like Fairfax and James City County just like kind of exploded.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising to me still that Busch Gardens was the last park to close, even though they had like the largest outbreak in that area.
Well, they never opened, so.
Yeah, but they announced like their closure.
Yeah.
Like the day before.
See, the more I thought I thought it was like really dumb that they were like, okay, all of our parks are operating for this weekend, except for Busch Gardens.
I know.
But then when I started like looking at it, I was like, yeah.
I was pretty mad about that.
Well, I know. Like I wasn't exactly happy either.
I thought you were like, yay! Busch Gardens is closed. I don't have to go this weekend. That's so awesome.
Pam wants me to say hi to her. Does that count?
Count for what?
I don't know. Hi, Pam.
Hey. I don't know why my internet's freezing up now. All right, there we go.
There's a county in Virginia called Goochland.
Yeah, it's like 10 minutes from where I live.
Really?
Yeah.
That's such a crazy name.
Goochland. It's Goochland. No one calls it Goochland.
I don't know. That just sounds weird.
There's only one case in West Virginia. That's so weird. I know it's not accurate, but still.
Yeah, I don't think they're. Well, I was thinking about that though too. West Virginia is such a widespread state, and everybody kind of like. I don't want to say it because it sounds bad, but like it's like the redneck communities, like little small communities.
So is Virginia, kind of. I mean, I guess we have Northern Virginia there.
Well, but see, that's the thing. Virginia is like if you look at the like if you go to Virginia Department of Health, almost all of Virginia is like wide open. It's just 95 and 64, literally.
There's some in Harrisburg and in Prince
Yeah, there's a
Edward.
few sprinkled around, but like Southwest, there's nothing down there.
Yeah, 'cause that's where all the rednecks live.
But see, then like it makes me
Fairfax
wonder.
is like huge. Fairfax is like the big guy.
I know, dude. Why do you think I'm more panicked than you are?
Yeah,
It's getting real up here.
I have a couple of friends that live up there. Boom, 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 boom.
I drive through the edge of Fairfax because do you see the blue county, the slightly less dark county right below Fairfax, Prince William?
Yeah.
That's where I live, and then Loudoun County right above it is where I work.
And Prince William's a nice county. Spotsylvania. That's surprising. Spotsylvania only has one case. That's pretty. That's right outside of. Taxman's taken. Fredericksburg doesn't have any. All right, I feel like we do this every episode. We've been live for like 20 minutes and we have not started.
Yeah.
Mm. All right, let's try it. I mean, West Virginia just have some pretty big cities.
Yeah, Morgantown would be an interesting place to see it.
Charleston too. I mean, that's like pretty big. That's like the size of like Richmond.
Let's see what the West Virginia Department of Health says. Their Department of Health is also their human resources.
Oh, never mind. Charleston's actually pretty tiny. I thought Charleston had a bigger population than that. It only has 50,000 people. Richmond has like a lot more than that. Richmond has like close to like 500,000.
And the West Virginia Department of Health is not loading.
Shocker. But their metro population is 300,000. So, I mean, that's a pretty good amount of people living in one little area.
Oh, yeah, I didn't tell you about that, James. I don't know if you're looking at the chat. Edon was supposed to go to Texas Pinball Festival, and he was going to hit Six Flags. So he got a season pass.
Oh, my God.
He can't do it. That was canceled. He's not going out there. So, like, now he's kind of screwed.
Over Texas? Or
Because he
was
can't
he going
process it at Six Flags America.
No, that kind of sucks. You just got to make a trip to Texas when this thing ends. Was he going to Over Texas or Fiesta Texas?
What's that?
Over Texas or Fiesta Texas?
I think it was over Texas.
That kind of sucks. I've heard that's not a very great park, but it's
Hey,
better than America though.
West Virginia woke up. And they have not had they had no update today. Oh, and now I gotta load another page. Oh my god. It's a daily update from yesterday. See, I think that's going to be a big deal. I think the season pass thing is gonna be a big deal this year.
I mean, the thing is, I already used my SeaWorld pass, so it's like I can't really.
Say I did. You know what sucks? So like I'm missing out right now because they're closed. So they're like, oh, we're going to extend everybody a month. Well, that's great. The month they're extending it, Busch Gardens Williamsburg's closed because my pass expires the first week of January. So like that's great. Now I have all.
I think
January
it's I think
and
it's
the first
the
week of February.
I think it's the month of like the month the park reopens. I think they're counting that because with that, I think they're saying that's like the parks that are year-round operating because most of their parks are year-round operational. All of their parks except Williamsburg are year-round operational actually. So I think they're saying operation calendar-wise, they're extending it a month. So I think it'll be extended.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm not gonna
to 2021.
I'm not gonna freak out over it right now, especially not over a month.
Yeah, I think it's 2021 probably. So I think you'll have it for 2021 for like a month or however long this lasts. But we can talk about that on Corona Craze.
Yeah.
Let's start this thing.
You're quiet again.
I know I wasn't talking in my mic. Let's start this thing. What?
You need to talk to your mic.
Let's start this thing.
There you go. Now you need to stay there. Get you like
No.
a neck brace and like
I'm not gonna stay there.
Just lock you there.
Alrighty, let's get to business. You ready?
Yeah. Sorry. I'm just shocked at this West Virginia Department of Health site. It's like so slow. Like modems were actually faster. This is so bad.
Let me see if I can get it. Wow.
Oh, they've only tested 148 residents.
This is really bad.
I told you.
It's like taking forever.
I know.
What? How is this able to function? All right, there we go.
What's that?
I said, how are they like, okay? How is this like, how is this seen like, okay? Like, yeah, our Department of Health website's completely terrible. They made an update today, it says.
They did?
It says the West Virginia Department of Health and Human Resources has updated, and it says like there's 3 new cases today. But I clicked on the link and now it's taking 4.5 hours for it to load, so I can't read exactly what is being said. Yeah, Sesame Place is also SeaWorld Park, but I forgot about that.
Yeah.
But I mean that's I don't know if anyone gets their season. I don't know how they're gonna do that, but I think that applies to most of their SeaWorld parks mainly, and then Busch Gardens Tampa because that's the year-round park. All right, so it says Virginia West Department of Health and Human Resources confirmed 3 new cases of coronavirus, making the total positive cases 5. Two individuals.
How many total tests did they do?
I don't know. It doesn't say. All 3 new positive cases are travel related, it says. "224 residents have been tested total for coronavirus."
It's still not a lot.
Yeah, it's not. Virginia has like 2,000 or something.
Virginia's like over 1,000.
Virginia's like 2,000.
Is that up to 2,000 now?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 1923. Pennsylvania has tested 1,608. They have 185 positive. And
Yeah.
the first 2 confirmed cases in the county that my family lives in.
Outside of Pittsburgh?
Yeah, Westmoreland County. Pittsburgh's in Allegheny County. They have 16.
Yeah, I forgot they don't do it. Don't you think it's weird how Virginia has like independent cities and like every other place doesn't?
We do.
Every other state and that's actually like a proven thing. Like Virginia is like one of the only is the only
Oh
state.
yeah, Virginia. You said West Virginia.
No, I said Virginia. I said Virginia.
Huh?
I said Virginia.
Okay. Yeah, Virginia. Yeah, I do. I always thought that was weird.
I like that. I think it makes more sense to have like cities as actual cities, like they're individual.
So you know what I found really weird that I didn't know until I saw this map. Arlington County is actually completely surrounded by Fairfax County.
Arlington.
So if you look at Fairfax County, there's 3 little spots. There's Fairfax City, which somehow still has 0 cases. Then there's Arlington County, which has 17, and then Alexandria City, which has 4. But like Arlington is a county that's completely surrounded by Fairfax.
Oh, so you're saying it's weird that Arlington doesn't have it? Isn't Arlington its own city though?
No, it's a county. I mean, there is. I think Arlington's I don't know
city.
how that works. I know Arlington used to be part of DC until they said, "Nah, we out."
Looks like Arlington's like a tiny little county on the side of Fairfax, though. It's not surrounding it. At least from what I can tell.
No, Alexandria is off to the side.
On mine it says Arlington's off to the side, so I don't know.
It's hard to even find it.
On mine it says Arlington's like up to the very top little right corner of Fairfax. That's what I can see right now.
Oh wait, you know what? You're right. It is like elongated. I can hardly see that.
Yeah. All right, so let's start this thing.
Oh, you're right. I see. Okay, it's blending in with Fairfax because they're just as bad as Fairfax.
Yep. All right.
Okay, I see what's going on now.
So I'm just gonna start off and say pretty much everything we said last week was wrong, and looking back on it, because we released it Monday, and I mean Monday people already knew that. I mean we released it Sunday night, but people already knew that Sunday that's how it was happening. So
yeah,
pretty much everything we said
by
last
the time
week.
they listen to the podcast, they're listening to us like, you idiots.
You don't know what's to come. We have foreseen the future. All right, here we go. You ready?
Yep.
Bob, pretty much everything we said last week was incorrect. We started off last week kind of in an optimistic position, and now we realize how wrong we really were.
Yeah. I don't know, there was a part of my mind that thought it might go bad, but I really didn't want to think it.
Yeah, I was just trying to come on, parks aren't going to close, come on. And then it was like...
More importantly, James, did you wash your hands?
I did. I washed my hands before starting this podcast. Everyone, if you haven't done that right now, stop the podcast, go wash your hands, and then resume.
Pause the podcast, go wash your hands.
Then resume.
Or if you're one of the lucky individuals that have hand sanitizer, go ahead and use that luxury to your advantage.
Yeah. So it's crazy how this has really become such a big thing now. I mean, just a week and a half ago, I had no idea this would be, happening. I was in school, living my life. I mean, it's crazy how quickly this really turned and is now affected even down to school children, students. We can't learn anymore. We can't go to school. Non-essential businesses in many states are closing. I mean, it's just kind of crazy how quickly everything accumulated.
Yeah, and I mean, it was weird. Like, I think it was like Saturday. I was like just thinking everything that I said, like all of like my views that I said on last week's podcast were like already like wow. I just couldn't believe how much my attitude towards things changed when it just like it just kind of slapped me in the face. And I was expecting this to get worse.
Yeah.
And it got far worse far quicker than I was expecting it to.
Yeah. It's really crazy. I mean, again, look, it's really weird and strange to think 2-3 weeks ago we had no. I mean, I had no fear, no. Not I had not even. I mean, I'd heard of the coronavirus, but it wasn't like a big factor in my life. I wasn't really worried or anything about that. And then, I mean, crazy, just like a week ago, it's just like, bam, hey guys, it's here, it has happened, and we're not excluded from this. It is definitely, turned into a pandemic, a global pandemic. So it
Yeah,
quickly.
the thing that like, as I mean, I'm I'm I- I'm a person. My work can't be done remotely, and it's kind of borderline essential. I work in internet communications, and right now, like the internet is getting hit hard because everybody's home, everybody's working over the internet. Um, so it's kind of it's kind of a busy area in Northern Virginia right now with people trying to catch up. Um, but like as
Yeah.
I was driving like to and from the different data centers that I work in, there was this like really weird feeling because I'm interacting with people, and like the thing that I started thinking back to was it like really started reminding me of the week after 9/11, and
Mm,
like how I mean things are very very different than nine
yeah.
eleven, but there was this same type of feeling of like
Emptiness and.
you see everybody, and everybody's like going through the motions, and it's like we got to this is what we have to do, this is but at the same time it's like nothing's normal, this isn't right, and it's like you kind of like don't even know what to say to people, and they don't know what to say to you, and like it's this like
There's a weird tension. Yeah. It's like
yeah, it's
it's
just
like
like this
almost like, do we
weird like
pretend like this isn't happening, or do we?
right,
Yeah.
exactly. And I mean, the dynamics of the situation is very different, but see, then I led from that, and I thought like I've been in some serious snowstorms. I was in a hurricane for a short time. I lived in Florida, and I went through a hurricane. I also helped out in New Orleans after Katrina had hit. So I had exposure to natural disasters, and then like I started thinking of that too, and there was that feeling of that as well. But the thing
Yeah.
that kept sinking in, and this is what just kept hitting me, is there is no like when Katrina happened, when New Orleans was at their worst, and they were in like this horrible, horrible situation, people from around the nation went to them to help. They
Mm-hmm.
redirected supplies. People went down to help. There is none of that. There is nowhere help's not coming from any. This is everybody. This is
Yeah.
the entire world. And it's just hard to think that there's nowhere on this planet you can go right now that is not in this same exact scenario.
And the strange thing for me is that I live near a college university, and I was actually down there the other day. I went for like a run around mine. It was actually yesterday. I mean, and there were still a lot of people out. I mean, there was people fishing, people running. It just didn't. It was just strange to me because this whole weekend and this past week I've been in my house, kind of doing everything. Staying in my house, staying social distancing. I decided to go for a run through this university, University of Richmond, and it was I mean, it was a lot. It was just strange because it felt like it was how life used to be, a couple weeks ago when life was normal and everything. And it was kind of weird to be like around a lot of people and seeing like, and obviously they're not taking it that seriously. I again was just on a short run, but there were people having picnics and fishing and riding bikes, and I mean, it was just really strange. It felt almost like not not right, which in a way it isn't right, but in that sense. But it was kind of a weird blur to kind of go back to that time of when humans were allowed to interact with each other. I know it's only been like a week, but it kind of feels like it's been a lot longer than that. So it was
Yeah,
strange. It was very
yeah,
strange.
it is. It's so I drove back from work at 6 p.m. today, and there was no traffic. Now,
Yeah,
some of you may think, "What? That no, I this is the DC area. Rush
yeah,
hour starts at 2 p.m. and ends at like 7 or 8 p.m. 6 p.m. there was no traffic. I mean, there were cars. There, some things are still functioning around here, but just so things are just so surreal.
yeah. It was very strange to see in my view to see like a lot of people in the gathering. It wasn't really a gathering, but people doing their normal daily fun activities. I hadn't really realized that there were still a lot of people out there that didn't realize that. I mean, I don't know if they don't realize it or they just don't take it seriously or what. But it was very strange to see that. But welcome to Coach Talk episode number 65. It is the week of March 23rd, 2020. It still feels weird saying 2020. 2020 has been such a weird year. I really, it's definitely not how I expected it to fall out.
Yeah, yeah.
But uh, regardless, we're going to start off the show like we always do. We'll talk more about Corona and how it's affecting theme parks later on. But let's start off the show like normal in the segment we call Attraction News. That was a long opening. That's all right. That's good. I prefer that to a short opening. I hate when it's just like, hey, welcome. Okay, attraction news. This way people get like engaged and actually care about what we're talking about. Okay, let's I know it was really weird. I also went to that place today. I went hiking. I said it yesterday, but it was actually today, and I went yesterday too. But it was just strange to see so many people out.
Yeah, that was. I should have said that. Like when I drove back into my neighborhood, there were a lot of people walking, and I saw a group of like 6 people walking together, and I felt like I should roll down the window and yell, "Social distance yourselves!"
Hey guys, you realize there's a pretty serious disease being
Yeah,
transmitted
I wish I
around.
would have said that. But then, like I also saw, like there were 2 people walking side by side, but they were like, really far apart from each other, and you could tell they're like, doing what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, I mean here it was like there was like 4 and 5 people walking around talking, discussing. I mean it just felt weird. There's picnics going on. It was just really strange. There's like a group
Yeah,
fishing by the river. By the river, um, just felt weird.
we'll talk. We could talk more about that in Coaster Creek,
Yeah,
Corona
I mean
Creek.
that's gonna be more theme parks and stuff, but
What's that? Oh,
that's more how
yeah.
it's related to theme parks. So I just wanted to. I don't understand this at all. Alrighty, let's continue.
Well, we could say that like the trains for Voyager are closer to us.
The trains.
Yeah.
Oh, we can. Yeah, we can just go to Pennsylvania. We can at least sit in them, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's start.
Except I think PTC's closed.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's the problem. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
All right. So I guess this is somewhat related to Corona, but I'm trying to keep that out of this segment because that's pretty much a lot that we're gonna be talking about later on. So, but the first little thing here for attraction news, the first little story we have to share with you all, is that even if Holiday World opens on time, Voyage will not be opening on time due to the state of Pennsylvania shutting down all non-essential businesses. And Voyage has been at the trains for Voyage have been at PTC under a refurb, and so now that non-essential business, which obviously roller coaster manufacturing is not an essential business, that is no longer operational. So those trains are stuck there until whenever Pennsylvania decides to kind of reopen their businesses.
Yeah, and that's not going to happen anytime soon because just tonight they upped that level of restrictions, and it's now worded non-life sustaining businesses have to close.
Yeah, so I mean, it is. Yeah, it's going to get darker before it gets lighter here in the situation.
Yeah.
So I don't know I obviously don't think the park's going to open on time, but I mean, even if it does, I don't. I mean, Indiana could easily, be a lot less hard on the restrictions, and it could easily open up without Voyage, which would be very, I know, disappointing for a lot of enthusiasts and a lot of Indiana residents. I mean, that's the highlight attraction of that park. So
I think that the first thing that us as coaster enthusiasts have to come to grips with is Hollywood Nights is I don't think it's going to happen.
Well, they did say on their website they said if our park does not open on time, then they'll postpone all the events. All of their events will be postponed.
Well, yeah, but I mean, even that aside, you can't have Hollywood Nights without Voyage.
Yes, but I think by the time they open, hopefully by then.
I'm sorry, I don't mean like I don't mean it's going to be canceled, but I mean it's not going to happen at the end of May.
Oh no, I don't think it'll happen at the end of May.
Sorry, I worded that wrong.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. That's going to be an interesting situation played out. I mean, because not only is Indiana going to open in terms of like their restrictions, we also now have to rely on Pennsylvania to open up. I mean, that's
right. And the thing is I'm sure. I mean, Holiday World is very transparent about what's going on. Most parks aren't, and other parks are in this situation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Holiday World's always very open with the enthusiast community.
They're pretty transparent in general, but especially with the enthusiast community. But like I know, well, like last week I had mentioned that Six Flags Over Georgia is getting brand new trains for Great American Scream Machine. Those likely could still be sitting in Pennsylvania right now.
I know they showed us a lot of coaster trains that they were refurbing at. Yeah, when we were up at Hershey Park. So I mean, that could very well.
At Cedar Point. I mean, we don't know where these are.
Yeah, they could have been already shipped out, but I would say a good majority of them are probably still in Pennsylvania. I mean, especially Blue Streak, Cedar Point. That park doesn't even open until May, so I definitely think that they're probably still under refurbishment. I'm sure that their schedule was to get them up there in the next month or so, and now that's probably not going to happen, or definitely not going to happen. I mean, it's just going to happen at a later date. So that's a little bit of some sad news. Let's knock that out of the way. A lot of you probably understand that, and it makes sense, and that's all fine. Let's get into some somewhat exciting news here, and change the mood and the theme of this podcast for now. Because I know we've been talking a lot about the virus and everything. You're probably trying to escape that. You're trying to escape that reality and listen to some coaster talk. So
this story is awesome.
Some exciting news out of Idaho as Wildwater West is now. They've gotten the okay. They've gotten commission to go ahead and begin the construction on their RMC Raptor coaster. This exciting stuff. I believe the park GM said that the park is hoping to begin putting footers in April, with the goal to open the coaster in August. So I know when we first talked about this, we were like, could it happen in 2020? Could they push it back in 2021? We don't know. But it sounds like they are 100% trying to open this thing in 2020, which is fantastic. That's really awesome.
This is just such a great story. I love it so much.
Yeah, it is. It's a great story. It's like an underdog kind of. You're rooting for the underdog. The little park in Idaho is going to.
I mean, the
get
reality of me
championship.
actually riding this is very slim, but I just love this for South Dakota. Like,
Yeah.
I think it's spectacular for them. I love the fact that just like out of nowhere, this little park that's just a step above like a swimming hole
Yeah.
is like, we're getting an RMC. It's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it is. It's just like, man, I've never been so happy before for such a small little park to get. I mean, this is like this would be like a Funland got their GCI that they're always hinting at. It's just so exciting to see such a small park. It's almost like, yeah, we get it with the chain parks. They get everything kind of, and the small parks kind of have to sit there and watch. But now we finally, not even a park, a water park no less, is getting, one of the best coaches out there. I loved Wonder Woman at Fiesta Texas. That was a fantastic RMC. So it's going to be such a hit up there. I'm so excited, especially for I'm sure there's some enthusiasts in South Dakota. So I'm very happy for those people that.
I wish we could probably count them.
Yeah, we could probably count them on our one hand. But I mean, it would be really awesome to be living up there, and this whole time, you're always like hearing about, Virginia, they're getting the Pantheon, and Florida's getting Iron Gwazi, and look, a couple of Steel Vengeance, in Ohio, and all these great attractions. You're like, you just have to sit here and you're just in South Dakota, like, man, I got nothing. Now you're getting, not only are you getting a coaster, I mean, yeah, it could have been like a family coaster or something like that, but you're getting a heck of a coaster with this. I mean, this is no joke. An RMC Raptor. I mean, wow, those things are insane.
Roller coasters in South Dakota right now, even they're like, wait, what? What's happening?
Wait a second. I would have expected. I'm sure a lot of them would have expected a new park to form, and like a new, like SeaWorld buys a park and builds a coaster.
It's like we get to ride a roller coaster without having to get a hotel,
without having to go 3 or 4 hours to the north or south. That's insane. Yeah, I know. It's like almost like I bet you their expectations are so low of getting a coaster at this park that they would have probably expected Six Flags or SeaWorld to buy a plot of land up there and build a coaster before Wild Water West did.
This park doesn't even really have flat rides. Like, they have not.
I know, it's like, hey, we want to dry off from the water slides.
Let's not start out with a merry-go-round or a scrambler. Let's just go full RMC. Like,
maybe the thought process is, hey, after we ride the slides, we can go dry off on the RMC Raptor, and then we'll be dry. That's how we get dry. Instead of having those family dryer machines, they're just like, go get on the RMC Raptor. So yeah, I mean,
man, props to Wild Water West. I love you guys. I don't know anything about you, but I love you.
Yeah, props to you guys, and props to RMC for. I mean, I don't know if who brought this up or anything, or who brought this to the table. I don't know what happened there. I'm sure it was Wild Water West going to RMC, but RMC to work with them and do this thing is awesome.
I do know that RMC was offering a really great
IAAPA.
discount at IAAPA.
Mm-hmm.
But see that's kind of the thing.
That's the kind of thing we don't see B&M and Intamin work with these small little parks. So it's really awesome to see a major manufacturing firm work with a no-name water park in South Dakota. I mean, that's
exactly what I was going to say. This was the whole point of the Raptor. I don't think RMC intended the Raptor model to go into the big parks that ended up buying them. I really think that this was their, they really wanted to go more to the small parks.
Yeah, I think that was specifically stated when they unveiled this. They said this is for small parks, and then Six Flags was like, I don't think so. And then Cedar Fair was like, yeah, I don't think so either. And then it was like, all right, maybe. And then I think maybe they went, when they discounted it, maybe they realized their pricing was too high, which I don't know the specific pricing for these. I don't know if they were ever released for Wonder Woman or Railblazer, but
I'll let you know when I build one in my backyard.
We can ask Fred Grubb. He's building one in his backyard. Hey, that would be the perfect solution. That would be the perfect solution to the corona. Let's just all build coasters in our backyard, and then we don't have to leave our houses. We can just social distance and ride the coasters in our backyard. I mean, Fred Grubb's set, man. He's just chilling out in the backyard. And got a
Well,
drink in his
wait, what
hand.
if we just do like wild mouse type rides?
Yeah, I mean,
Everybody in their own car. Bring back the old Kara Pros.
yeah, that's the solution right there. That's how we solve this. For coaster enthusiasts that are upset about the coasters, let's just build it in their backyard. That's how we solve this problem here. But yeah, I mean, props to Wildwater West. Props to RMC for even working with these small little parks. I love it. It's fantastic that they're doing that, and I love that they're so eager to get this open too. Like when we first started talking about this, I know you were kind of skeptical about the possibility of this opening 2020, and I was like, yeah, I don't know. It seems
I
pretty
really
crazy
didn't
that
think it was gonna
like
happen in 2020.
it seemed pretty
Well,
crazy.
there are some other concerns, but
Yeah, there's concerns there, but I have a feeling that at least the construction will begin and we'll see it
that's
be
true.
be finalized. I don't know if it won't. I don't know if it'll open or not, but it'll be operational probably. So in that sense, that's really awesome that they have a goal to open this in August. That's just fantastic, and I love that they're so eager to do that, which is awesome. So that's it with Whitewater West. But there is some more exciting news before we get into more Corona stuff. Indiana Beach, the local White County Commission. What am I talking about? White House. All right, let me pause that. I'm gonna edit that. That's too big of a mess up to just pretend like that. The White House has said that Indiana Beach can have buyers. Trump is dead set on having buyers. Oh my gosh. Mm. All right. All right. Let's redo that. Where was I at? There, but Indiana Beach. I'm just gonna restart Indiana Beach thing. Let's just restart from there. I'm just gonna say. I'm just gonna start off reading what I have written there, and then I'll say.
All right.
All right. So, some more good news out of White County. The commissioners and council for that county voted in favor of a resolution that would offer a $3 million incentive offer to potential buyers of Indiana Beach Amusement Park. So there are definitely some potential buyers in Indiana Beach because not only is this happening, but also we saw a couple of days ago, and I think on Reddit and Discord and multiple different media platforms, people are talking about how the Ferris wheel and water attractions were testing and running cycles over the past couple of days. So it looks like there are some people looking at Indiana Beach still, and it's not officially dead. It's not officially done for. So that is some exciting news as well, because as much as I don't know how this Corona is going to affect this, I don't know if people are going to be like, yeah, we can't invest in a park right now in this time of crisis, which kind of sucks because it really seems like this park could be saved if it just didn't really fall into this time. But at least there are some people still looking at it right now. And a $3 million incentive would really help start things back up, and it would really help with maintenance and things for that park. So I think there's definitely some potential here for Indiana Beach.
I'm not. This is great news, and this is definitely gonna help. But I still think the biggest problem for Indiana Beach isn't the buying side. I think it's the selling side. I still really feel like Apex's their whole plan is to park this out and sell it in order to make more money. And I think that's where this might help, because maybe this will cause another park that's buying it to spend more money than what it might be worth, which might make Apex go, oh, okay, well, yeah, that's less hassle. I don't know. I mean, I definitely saw that testing footage, and that could be a good sign, but that could also mean that the Ferris wheel is getting sold. Yeah, it's hard
Yeah,
to
but then there
say.
was like the water fountains were turned on in
Yeah,
like
but people
stuff.
buy that stuff too. I mean,
I don't know if they're gonna be selling that. I don't know, like they're gonna
I'm
sell
just,
fountains.
I'm partially playing devil's advocate here. We
Yes,
don't
yes,
know
that's
what this
fair.
means for sure. But I just don't want people to hear this and go, oh, great, Indiana Beach is saved, because it's
Yeah,
far from safe.
it's not official. This is not confirmation that this park will be bought or anything like that. So there's just potential, and that's always great. A little bit of hope.
Yeah,
And
and
again,
I mean,
this virus
the
thing could
fact that
very well um, affect this because I don't know, a lot of parks that might have been looking at it might have go, yeah, we're kind of, a lot of stocks are falling right now. They might be like, we're not in the best financial position to be acquiring another park, so that could very well scare away some people. But we shall see.
yeah,
I don't know. We'll see. That's exciting
that's
stuff to
true.
see.
But I do think that the fact that the local government is so into this,
Yeah, they're really
I
advocating.
yeah, and I think they would. I mean, if 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 COVID-19 becomes a problem, I think that might even give the local government more incentive to try to find a way to get even more incentives. Like, I think it'll become more of a thing of like, this will really help us recover.
Yeah, I mean that's a good way to look at it as well. But I think the government will try to do that, but I just don't know about the parks that are going to be looking at it. They might be like,
Right?
yeah,
No,
never mind.
you're absolutely right.
So we'll see. It's going to be a balance of two. We're gonna have to see. What comes victorious? Is there going to be enough
Maybe
incentive? Is there going to be enough incentives of the government that the parks are going to be like, all right, we have to take this offer, let's buy it, or is it going to be, yeah, we can't do that right now? Especially, I mean, this came at such a bad time. If this had happened last year, I think Indiana Beach would have been easily been able to been saved. I think the government could have done a lot more, and then parks would be like, heck yes, let's acquire this park. It just sucks that it's coming at this time right now because, I mean, now parks are definitely not looking to invest a lot in, especially with like the financial positions of Six Flags and SeaWorld and Cedar Fair right now. They're definitely probably not looking.
actually. Here's the thing. I figured it out. This is how this should all go down. You know who has a lot of cash right now is Purell.
Mm-hmm.
They've been selling hand sanitizer like crazy.
Yes, they have.
So if they take some of that money and say,
Yeah.
let's do something else. Let's do something for like,
Purell Entertainment.
oh, randomly let's pick Coaster Enthusiast. Yeah, because that's who's on our mind right
Per-
now. Maybe we could go buy Indiana Beach with all this money we made off of selling all this hand sanitizer.
And we get $3 million from the park, from the government. I mean, to save the park. I mean,
And everybody that goes into that park can have the cleanest hands ever.
Purell Entertainment Incorporated, serving you since 2020 after the COVID-19 virus. Yeah, that would be something. But we shall see what comes out of that. We'll keep you guys up to date. I know we've done a lot on Indiana Beach. I think that's probably our most covered attraction news. It's kind of funny because before.
There's so much talk about it and so little movement.
Yeah, I know. It's very speculation oriented. There's not really much news out of there, but it's a lot of speculation. But I think before this year, I think Indiana Beach we probably talked about 0 times on this podcast, and then after this announcement, it's been the hot topic.
Yes, for sure.
Well, getting back to another hot topic, we're going to talk about how Corona is affecting the theme park industry because last week we gave some we gave some false hope a little bit. We were very optimistic in our approach to this, how it would affect theme parks, and that's completely gone downhill, and it's affecting us pretty seriously here. So we're going to talk about that, give you guys a little bit of an update on Coaster Craze. What?
I love Clint's idea.
What? What is his idea?
We need to remake World War II style newsreels sponsored by Purell. I'm just picturing it in my head. I wish I had enough talent to do something like that. I would love to.
Just imagine. I'm watching a newsreel right now. just picturing it.
America goes to war.
America goes to war.
Of the Army, Navy, and Marines reinforce the battlefronts on 6 continents.
That would be great. All right. So how are we gonna start this off? Just every park is closed except Fun Spot. Pretty much the update, guys. All right, moving on. I'm just kidding.
Sorry, folks. Park's closed. Who self-registered told you?
A lot of people might listen to that intro now, and that's what I need to do. I need next if we ever run out of something to talk about, I need to talk about.
dirty hand sink our lance.
I'm glad we didn't.
God.
I'm glad we
I'm
didn't.
so glad you didn't say that while we were
Yeah,
recording.
I know. I was about to say. I'm so glad you did not say that when we started the podcast. All right. So I'll say, like, we might as well just change that maybe to Corona craze, Bob, or something like that. That's how I'll start that off.
You do that.
All right, let's go. There's a possibility that we might have to change that segment's name to Corona Craze, because that's pretty much the news. Any platform you're listening to, and if you're listening to ESPN, if you're listening to Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, it doesn't matter what news source you're listening to. It doesn't matter what the topic is. Everybody's talking about Corona, and even here, I mean, it's not really coasters, it's Corona. So we might have to just change that point blank to Corona Craze.
It might be more fitting right now.
Yeah, it might be. So yes, last week we talked about this, and it was all speculation. At that point, we were just kind of because Corona had just become a big hot topic in the United States. What we were going to do, how businesses were going to react, and we kind of had we were trying to be optimistic, so it wasn't fully, so there was some, idea that parks may very well close.
Well, let's also be honest. We just really wanted to go to
Yes,
Busch
that was so God. That was so. I mean, I was sitting in my classroom. It was Thursday, right before they closed schools Friday, and it was Friday, right before they closed schools for the remainder of the week. And I was like, I'm just like, because my Spanish teacher was like, you guys can do whatever you want. So I'm just sitting there, and I'm at Busch Gardens' Instagram page, and I'm just scrolling and keep reloading and waiting for, hey, we're still opening, or no, we're not. I was like, come on, guys, you're not giving us anything here. It's crazy. They really waited a long time for that to announce that. So I was very hopeful that we would, get at least one day in, because then they did announce, and oh my gosh, I was so excited. The announcement from SeaWorld was, hey, all the parks are going to remain open until that Monday. And I was like, hey, that means Busch Gardens is still going to open.
Yeah.
And I was like, yay. And then for like 15 minutes, I was like, the park's opening. Cheers to the world. I was dancing. I was great. And then it was like,
you were texting me. You're like, yeah.
yeah, I was like, yeah, everybody. I was posting it on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. And then it was like a slap in the face. And SeaWorld's like, yeah, no, we're not going to open your park. Every other park's going to be open and operational, but not your park. So everyone in Florida and Texas and everything they were all great and having a great time, and it was like, nope, you guys cannot.
But can we take a step back and, like, now that it's done and over with, like, let's look at this logically. Like, was coronavirus not contagious until Monday? Like, why do you say, like,
yeah,
let's think about this logically. Like, hey guys, we need to close the parks because this virus is really, really bad. But we're not going to do it for another 3 days.
Hey, and that's how I felt about school. School was like, guys, this virus is insanely dangerous. You guys are going to be out of school for 2 weeks, but you can still go to school on Friday. It's like, what? I was like, wait a second. We're still going to school tomorrow? Like, we got the announcement Thursday that we're closed.
Yeah, exactly.
We're closed for 2 weeks, and it's like, wait, so starting on Monday, this virus is going to be the most dangerous thing in the existence of the planet.
Right.
But before then, we're fine.
I just that to me was like, I just couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
I get not evacuating your parks, but like,
Yeah.
I don't know. That just seemed kind of weird to me.
Yeah, so every park in the entire country is closed, except for Fun Spot America and Fun Spot Kissimmee in Florida. Those two parks remain open, which I don't know.
Man.
I mean, you can look at it from different perspectives and say that's cool, it's not cool. However you want to look at it is fine. But that's just, I don't know. It's strange. You know, you'd really think usually after like I don't know. I expected them to be closed. Maybe, you know, remain open for a little bit, but I expected them to be closed at this point. It's kind of getting kind of late in the game to, you know.
I'm really shocked that they're not.
Yeah, I mean, literally
Florida,
every park is.
There's like usual. There's always something weird going on down in Florida.
I mean, and tourism is a big part, and there's a small business. So I mean, I know that's not an excuse, but it makes somewhat sense.
I get that. I understand that. I get those fears, but I mean,
at what point does operating your park and making money become more valuable than lives of people?
So
you know,
here's
that's where
the
you gotta...
other thing that I don't think I don't think they're taking into account. You know, right now, when somebody is a confirmed case of COVID-19, the health departments are tracing where that came from. Do you know how detrimental that would be to FunSpot if they traced it to contact that occurred at FunSpot?
Yeah.
I mean, I get wanting to stay in business, but holy crap, like if that happened, that could kill you. That could kill you as a business.
Not only would that kill your revenue for the time being, it could kill your revenue forever. Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, it's just strange.
When everybody's closed.
You know what really surprised me is that Disney was the first chain to shut down. I really did not think that would be coming. I really thought Disney would try to stay open because, you know, it's all about the money, you know. So I was very shocked they were the very first park. You know, I thought we'd see like, I didn't know how it was going to play out, but I definitely did not see Disney being like the first, and then everyone else kind of followed Disney. Yeah, that was a surprising call.
I kind of have weird views of that because I actually worked at Disney World when they closed a full day for the first time in history. And that was for Hurricane, I want to say Floyd, but I may be completely wrong on that name. I just remember my coworker going, "Why haven't they closed yet? All I know is tomorrow we're going to see the Epcot ball rolling down I-5." And that picture has never left my head.
That's hilarious.
But I kind of like almost saw a change at Disney at that point. So after, you know, that whole being there for that, it kind of doesn't shock me. But I also get what you're saying as well.
Yeah, but Disney is never I mean, like as we've said, Disney like never closes. So it was just very shocking to me that they were the first people to announce, hey, we're not going to be open for, not only are we not going to be open for a week or so, it was till the end of the month. And I was like, wow, that is, it was just very surprising. And that really, when that happened, I was like, it's only a matter of time for the other parks then. There's no way.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, when that happened, at first I was like, okay, we're seeing Japan and we're seeing, you know, France and stuff. I'm like, yeah, maybe they'll stick it out in the U.S. And then when they were like, California, I'm like, oh, man, we're getting to Florida. And it was like, all right, this is just going to spiral out of control. Every park is going to be down. And the fact that fun spots are still open, I mean, that's really, really shocking to me. But, I mean, again, I don't know. I have not really talked with them. I don't know how they're handling this. I'm curious.
I guess really, I mean, I've not been to Fun Spot personally, but like any pictures you see that's like, there's hardly anybody there.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
So maybe it's like social distancing is just built into their operations.
I've heard that like they rarely get crowds over, you know, 250, 300 people. So, but still, I mean, the thing now is there shouldn't be a group of over 10 people gathering. Yeah. So, I mean,
yeah, but yeah, definitely at this point, I could see them definitely holding out because they're not that busy. But at this point, like, I don't know. I don't know what they're thinking.
And I think they released a press release today saying they're staying open. So they, like, as of today, they are still like operational. This is not like they're not taking anything into consideration. They're like, no, we're open. for business.
See, and like that.
This wasn't a couple
like I
days
said,
ago.
I understand the motivation behind it, but it kind of like, in some ways, it's like that attitude, especially right now at this exact moment in time. That attitude is what's going to keep this going on longer, I think. So I don't think, I don't know. It just doesn't seem to help anybody in the long run.
I don't know. We'll have to see. I definitely, I mean, it's only a matter of time for them as well, but because this thing's going to get worse.
Well,
and then
I do know that that's kind of what happened in Pennsylvania. Governor Wolf basically told businesses, look, here's the guidelines. We really want you to follow these. Like, please take action. And they basically saw, like, I talked to my sister and she's like, there's so many businesses up here that are acting like nothing's going on. And that is exactly why all of a sudden today, Governor Wolf makes the announcement like, okay, we're not messing around. This is it. This is the mandate.
You have to.
We tried to let you guys kind of make your own way, but like you're not doing anything, so we have to take action.
Mm-hmm.
So, there's that way to look at it too, that if businesses aren't responsible, that's what forces the governments to step in.
That's what I thought it would
mess.
come to in Virginia. I mean, I thought there's no way parks are going to close. I thought there would have to be a state mandate for Virginia parks to close. I thought that for every park. That's what we were discussing last week, and it really did shock me that they all decided to do it on their own accord.
See, I think what I said about like Fun Spot, like the damage that would be done if a case of COVID-19 got traced back to your location. And I think that may have been a big part of why parks finally started saying, okay, we're not taking that risk. And I do also think that it's highly possible that whenever SeaWorld corporate made the initial announcement that it was March 16th that all the parks were shutting down, corporate may have said, like, they may have had the full intent of Busch Gardens Williamsburg opening for that weekend. But it happened to be that James City County, just that day, the day that they made that announcement, had the highest, I think they had like something like 14 cases confirmed that day in the county that Busch Gardens is in. And I think that may have been a reality check that kind of they went, yeah, let's not take this risk.
I don't know, but Kings Dominion had closed like the day before, so.
Well, yeah, but that was a corporate level. Cedar Fair did that at a corporate level before, and SeaWorld didn't make any announcements until that day, the same day, like the day after. So,
yeah.
Busch Gardens Williamsburg seemed to be the only oddity in the announcement. And I mean, that very well could be because of just all of a sudden they just like confirmed all these cases. I mean, with that kind of number, you kind of almost have to say the likelihood that COVID-19 spread through the crowd at Busch Gardens, it was pretty likely. Like it was going to happen.
Yeah, there was no
whether it was detected or not was another story. But at that point, because if you figure if they tested 14, they had 14 confirmed. I guarantee you there's other cases that haven't been tested and aren't known as well.
Yeah, that was a pretty certain guarantee that would spread at Busch Gardens. So, I mean,
yeah,
I was very disappointed, but it made sense.
Me too. But looking back, I mean, they absolutely made the right decision. As much as
I can't imagine that
wanted to go so bad, but
I cannot imagine the toll it would take on them if it was discovered that like 80 cases were transmitted at Busch Gardens. That would be that'd be bad.
I mean, really, honestly, like, I think Virginia's up to, what is it, 90 some cases?
Yeah,
80?
I believe it's 90.
Yeah, something like that.
I think it might be closer to 100.
I mean, really seriously, that one action, if Busch Gardens would have opened for that weekend, like, that could have potentially even just doubled that number right there.
Yeah, very well could have. So
I mean, you don't know. There's no way to prove that.
Yeah.
But,
the
way things look.
There's a possibility of that could have happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I think that's about it for the Corona update, guys. There's a lot going on. We'll keep you guys up to date again, this segment will pretty much for the next couple weeks be known as Corona Craze until this kind of dies down somewhat, because I'm sure there'll be more happening in the next couple weeks. I'm sure parks are going to start announcing their more delayed calendars very soon as well, and because I think it's very unlikely that these parks are going to be opening up at the end of March and early April, like a lot of them have said they are going to. So we shall see.
I don't see there. I think there's definitely got to be more delays. I don't. I mean, in looking at how this is going and what's going on, I just don't see parks opening in at least a couple months.
Yeah, so we will see, and we'll keep you guys up to date on that. So let's move on. Again, let's get more happy about it. Let's change the tone a little bit here. Let's get more excited for the championship of the Battle of Ages. It's been a while. We've been doing this for about a month and a half now, and we finally gotten to figure out the best coaster of all time. Sadly, it comes at somewhat of a depressing time, so this isn't the atmosphere I was hoping for. I was hoping for it to come at the end of the off season, so everyone would be like, "Yes, Battle of Ages is over, and we get to go ride coasters now. Woo! This is awesome!" But now it's like, oh, okay, cool. Yay.
Quick. Hey, James, wash your hands.
Yeah, wash your hands. All right, everyone take a 10-minute break. We're going to go wash our hands real quick. All right. Let's move on to the next segment called Break Run and talk about the Battle of the Ages. Oh, do you want to go into depth and talk about these years now that we just have two finally? I can talk about more than just like say that they had good coasters or what?
It's up to you. Oh God, I have so many tabs open. I have a lot of coronavirus tabs. Pennsylvania, Virginia, Department of Health, and CDC.
West Virginia, Mountain Mama.
Well, trying.
Is it still
No,
loaded?
it actually loaded.
Oh, that's good to say.
I don't know. It was weird. Like one page loaded really quick, and then the next would just like sit there and. Where are those tabs? I know I still have them here. Ah, there it is. Roller coaster browsers. And that. All right. Looks like I got it. Hey, I don't know if you noticed or not, but on your bracket, you have the years reversed from which region they're coming from.
Do I? Oh, did like...
See this right here? That's coming from the region on the right, and you have it in the one for the region on the left.
Oh, you're talking about that? Oh, okay.
I mean, and it's not a big deal, but just if you want to be accurate, I just
that
want
was
to point
just
it out.
I just literally did that like 10 seconds ago, so I didn't really realize that.
No, it was like that last week.
Oh,
I forgot to tell you though.
oh, you're talking about that? Okay.
Yeah, so like 79 and
Yeah,
2000
yeah,
should switch.
I see that. Yeah. This really sucks. Maybe we should redo the Battle of Ages and just restart it again. This would be the perfect thing to do at this time. There's literally...
And you, I said about doing it next year. You're like, we're not doing this again next year. Maybe 2 years.
I know. I'm just kidding. I'm just saying, like, it sucks that we started.
I know.
It just really sucks that we started this. This would be like, hey, what do you do during when there's nothing to do right now?
Hey James, check the chat.
What? Oh. All right, so 2000. It makes sense. 2000 really. I mean, you look at that. That is definitely the best coaster year. I mean, I know we're talking about historical significance, but Millennium Force, Boulder Dash, Dominator, Steel Dragon 2000, Superman the Ride, and the Legend all up in that year. I mean, that's like that sounds
That's a
like
good year.
that sounds like a normally when you talk about like that sounds like a top 5 list of like some people's coasters. Like that's just crazy.
Oh, I won't argue that. I just think 79
Yeah, I know it's
was
hard to argue.
better.
It's hard to argue historical significance versus actual
I know.
quality over quantity.
Are you saying the Beast isn't quality?
I am saying that, yes.
What?
The Beast day ride is terrible. The Beast at night is phenomenal and probably one of the best coasters ever, but at day it is completely a snooze fest.
You're making me angry.
I think pretty much everyone that's ridden that coaster agrees.
I'm angry.
I think everybody agrees with that I know that I've ever talked to about the Beast. It is
This is. I mean, it is far better at night. Far better at night. But I don't think it's a terrible coaster during the day.
No, I don't think it's terrible during the day. It's just kind of
Well,
I think it's kind of a snooze fest. I think I just like it's nothing exciting to it. At night, it just completely transforms. It's like a mid-tier coaster during the day, and then at night, it's like holy crap, this is exceptional. It's just a big.
Okay, I might. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It's fun. I like to ride it.
Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. Now, was this the first one, Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, or was this like?
No, because that's the one at Disney World, right?
This is the one. Why is it? It's not under the Bees. Did I get it wrong? Is it not Big Thunder Mountain Railroad?
Oh wait, no, Disneyland. Wait.
Oh wait, I'm not looking at.
Ultimate Roller Coaster is weird.
It's Disney. It's Disneyland's.
So that
was the first one, right? Yeah, it was the first one.
Yeah.
All right, so that makes it way more historically important as well.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking like, oh, this might be like the other one, so that might be why. But
oh wait, I know what I'm confusing. I'm confusing Matterhorn bobsleds with it.
yeah, that's what you're.
Yeah, that makes more sense now.
There was a good line right there that you kind of missed, but you've never seen the movie, so it kind of sucks. So Rolling Thunder at Great Adventure.
God, I loved Rolling Thunder.
What's the? I think we'll talk about 1979 first, and then we'll talk about. That way we kind of pay respect to 79 first, you know?
I'm good with that. How do you... Where's... Huh. Oh, I didn't think of this.
Joe Mama?
We should have been doing year searches on RCDB.
Yeah, but I like this.
I know
better.
Ultimate Roller Coaster missed some.
Yeah, I know, but I like how this is more laid out. It was a lot easier to do this way. All right, I don't know what's happening with. Hi back, young feller. Hello. everyone keeps saying like, oh, I'm binge watching shows and watching movies and stuff, and I'm like, how do you do that and do schoolwork? Like I want to watch. There's like I have a whole list of movies I want to watch. Like I have whatever it's called, the Hitchhiker thing from you, and then I have like a bunch from my dad, and then a bunch that I just want to watch in general. And I have not been able to watch any movies.
So are you
I've been watching a lot of TV shows.
So are you're still doing schoolwork?
Yeah, I still have to do schoolwork. I don't know how long it's gonna last though. I don't know because I'm in an AP class, so you have to take an AP test, in order to get the credit for that class. And I don't know how they're gonna do that if we're not in school. I mean, you can't trust kids to not cheat on tests like that. I mean, that's a very important class. So a lot of people are gonna cheat on that test. So I don't know how they're gonna do that. Even if you have someone like watching them, I mean, it's so easy to like. Oh, I'm gonna go to the. I mean, how are they gonna monitor? I have to go to the bathroom. It's like a 3 hour long test. So if someone has to go to the bathroom, you can't say you can't go to the bathroom. It's just there's a lot. I feel like I don't know how they're gonna do that.
Yeah, I don't. So what? Like I won't.
I mean, I know for a fact.
I wonder if Virginia's helping something to do school online.
I hope to God not. For learning in an actual learning environment, I don't like doing it at home. It really sucks.
I know. I like.
It's hard to do it because you're like relaxing, and then all of a sudden you're like, you have to go do your work
Right.
now, guys. Like you have to get up. You have to
Exactly.
get up out of your couch.
I can't do the work from home stuff. That what I mean. I what I do I can't do from home for the most part. But
Oh my God, 2000 is so stacked. The Boss opened that
it
year.
is.
The Boss at Six Flags New England opened that year. Krypton Coaster, Steel Venom, Superman Ride of Steel, Son of Beast. Oh my God.
Yeah, Son of Beast was good.
Robin Hood at Wallaby Holland. Medusa, it's at Six Flags Mexico, which is now Medusa Steel Coaster. Kraken at SeaWorld Orlando. Oh my, Goliath at Six Flags Magic Mountain. This is insane. It makes sense, I think. I mean, if it was, this is like the year of coasters. 2000 was like the year of coasters, like adding new coasters. Like every like, this is crazy.
What? It's only 7 pages on RCDB.
It's insane.
Bubbles the Coaster opened in 2000.
All right, that's official. That makes sense. Storybook.
I want to ride that just because it's a dragon wagon on like an E&F Miller. That's. I want to ride Bubbles the Coaster. I just want to be able to put on my list that I rode Bubbles the Coaster.
Rank it in your top 25.
No, Merlin's Mayhem has that spot. That's what I thought. See, Clint's saying skulls are just advancing everyone.
That is not the case in Virginia.
He lives in Virginia, I think. Right?
Well, if he does, then that's not true. I don't know.
Well, that's not. It's not necessarily a Virginia thing. That may be a Richmond thing.
Yeah, but I don't think they wouldn't be forcing us to do work if it was not required. I'm pretty confident it's required, like that we have to be continuing work. And I know, I mean, my cousin lives in Virginia Beach and my other cousin lives in Fredericksburg, and they're all doing work too, so. That's like 3 separate areas of Virginia, and they're all doing work and stuff.
I think he lives in Virginia. He's just like really close to West Virginia. I don't remember exactly where.
And they can't just advance everyone. I mean, if you're an AP, in order to pass an AP test, an AP class, you have to take the test. Like that's a requirement. Well, it's not a requirement, but in order to get the credit for the class, you have to take the AP test. So I don't know. You can't.
Yeah, he's in Western Virginia.
Oh, okay, that's different. Maybe it's different there.
But it's still.
He's in Western Virginia. Oh, I don't know.
He's in Virginia.
Yeah, okay.
West of Virginia.
Okay, yeah, not West Virginia.
Right.
All right. I don't know. That's strange. Because that's not.
He's saying too. He's talking about in general, but yeah, AP classes might be different.
Well, I mean, I'm still doing work for all of my classes, regular, advanced.
Well, but see, at the same point though, as of right now, everybody's operating under the 2-week thing.
No, it's 4 weeks for us now.
Oh, it's 4 weeks. Well, still.
And then Governor Northam said he's going to talk about closing it for the rest of the year.
Well, yeah, and that's when I think things will get interesting.
Yeah, and that's when it's going to get fun. All right, let's not talk about that, though, because we're going to get into a big discussion about that.
What?
We can talk about
This is
that.
school talk.
Yeah.
Aren't we school talk?
Yeah, it's fountain
School
talk,
talk.
Corona talk, school talk. Maybe we should definitely start doing off-topic podcasts because other podcasts do that, and I like that. We have we literally have off-topic podcasts before we start. We might as well just start doing them and
We should.
letting people listen to them.
Letting us ramble about stuff.
It can just be called Kosher Talk Rambles.
That's true.
We ramble about random stuff.
Props to CoasterBot.
Oh, yeah, they have a podcast too. I forgot about that.
It's literally
Called
exactly
Kosher Bot. Yeah,
Rambles.
we can't do that then.
I haven't actually listened to it though.
I have. We had Harry on this podcast a long time ago.
Yeah, I know.
Not a long time ago.
I wasn't on that.
like a couple months ago. I know that was pre-Bob. That was the pre-Bob era.
No, I think I was.
You were a guest, but you weren't a host yet.
I know. Yeah, I was a guest.
You were just the guy that came on like every couple weeks.
I was the guy. I was the guest.
And every
pretending
week
to be
I'd
host.
say, "Oh, Bob's back, guys." Yeah, and it's like, and I was like, might as well just have you on every week, I guess, because you're pretty much back every week. So I need to stop saying Bob's back again. And then I got positive feedback, so I'm like, "Yes, Bob, you can come back all the time and just be the co-host." And that's how we'll do this. And then that, I don't know, nothing was really born out of that. It was just now how it is today.
Yeah.
It was already called Coaster Talk. It was, everything pretty much stayed the same except that.
You need to get Mike Collins to do another intro though.
Yeah. I don't know how likely that is, but
Oh, there was another coaster that opened in 2000 called Carlos Taxi. Oh, it's an SBF Visa
guess what's happening
that
right
doesn't
now?
spin.
Guess what's
I
happening
didn't
right
even know those existed.
Guess what's happening right now outside of my house next door?
What?
Guess what's happening outside of my house next door?
What?
There's a college party going on, a fraternity party.
Ah, social distancing. Come on.
Should I go out there right now?
Yeah. Yell.
And then-
Social distance yourselves.
Get beat up by a bunch of drunk frat guys. I could probably take them, actually. I'm about their size. So.
Depends on how drunk.
I mean, I have I don't know what I was gonna say. Whatever. I have a gun. I'm just kidding. That's not what I was gonna say. Never mind. That's not what I was gonna say. Oh boy. We need to do an off-topic podcast. Yes.
What?
We have so much substance to talk with. I mean, I think me and you are more like pop culture nerds about than we are like just theme park nerds too. So I mean, in terms of me, I mean,
You're
I know
supposed to shame them on Twitter. Yeah. James, shame them on Twitter.
I don't know their Twitter.
Tell them my neighbors are not practicing social distancing.
They'll probably say, "Screw off." You know what the song I've been saying? I have two songs now for coronavirus.
My corona.
My
Was that one of them?
That was one of them, actually. You're correct.
It literally just popped into my head.
And then it's the song. It's like Havana, ooh na na, and I'm saying Corona, ooh na na. We're going to all die from Corona. We're all gonna get Corona. And that's just the stuff that pops into my head. We need to have an off topic.
Oh man, some of the stuff that pops into my head.
I mean, we could just sit around for longer than the actual podcast that we do. We could sit around for like 4.5 hours and just talk
Oh,
about it.
absolutely.
I mean, and it
Could
wouldn't
you
even be
imagine getting
scripted.
one?
We would have no script. We would have no like document telling us what we would just say. We would just sit down and I'd go, "What do you think about this?" And you'd say, "Oh yeah, I like that." And then we'd be like, "Oh, but this," and then, "Oh, hey, how about this movie?" And then, "How about this song?" And then we just that's how we do this. That's just how we do this.
That there is There's a podcast called No Agenda that
Yeah.
I think is pretty
Yeah,
great.
there's a couple of podcasts out there like that. We I don't know. We'll discuss that in more private though. Once we're not doing the live stream, so we can discuss that how we think that should play out. Because I thought about doing that a long time ago, never got around to it, but I have somewhat of an idea of what we do. But let's get back into it. Talk about the Battle of Ages. Do you have everything up and ready to talk about the Battle of Ages?
Sure.
Okay. That's a no, but all right. Okay, let's talk. It feels almost like a dream that we have now made it to the very final round, the championship round of the Battle of the Ages. I mean, we started with 64 teams, Bob. I remember sitting there that night. We seeded all of these
I
teams
remember
together.
cursing you. Like, wait, you didn't think this through, man.
Yeah. And we
so many years.
we sat down. We seeded 64 years. I mean, we had to take years out, and we had to put years in, and it was like crazy. And we seeded them, and then we look back at it. We're like, wait, no, I think that's wrong. And you're like, and we were both like, all right, we're too tired. We'll let the audience decide. They'll vote on it anyway. It doesn't really matter. But that was crazy. That feels like it was like an eternity ago, especially with what's all happened.
That was back in a simpler time before we had viruses.
Back in the good old days of Kosher Talk, before the dark days. Yeah, and we made it to the final round of the Battle of Ages. It's exciting. We're figuring out the best kosher year of all time. We've had a lot of good years get cut, and surprisingly, what we had this year was we had the 1 seed of 2000 versus the 5 seed of 1979. Those were the 2 years that made it to the final round. And it's exciting stuff because...
So you know what that tells me? We did pretty good at seeding.
Yeah, we did. Well, we got a 5 seed, so we're a little off there. But in terms of the 1 seed, it made it all the way.
It's better than like a, 10 seed.
Yeah, like 2 16 seeds made it all the way. That would be embarrassing. We'd probably have to cancel and be like, all right, we're postponing that until we can learn. We can obviously don't have any clue on how to seed kosher years. But this is a pretty exciting poll because this is pretty much what we wanted. I mean, this whole time we've been talking about quality versus quantity, historical significance versus the actual content of the koshers that were released that year or were opening that year. And we kind of found a happy medium because the 2 years were polar opposites of each other. 2000 is a year that consists of phenomenal coasters, and it without a doubt makes sense why it made it this far. But then 79, it's not the greatest coasters, but the significant impact they had on the industry makes sense on why they got this far. So it's kind of like a battle between historical significance and a battle between actual quality and the content of the coasters that we got that year. So it's kind of cool to see that.
Come on. Wilderness Run is such a high quality ride.
That is my favorite coaster, Cedar Point. So, I mean...
You have no idea, man.
So 1979...
You get to ride it twice. Twice, man. Twice.
1979 consisted of a couple of great attractions in terms of how they played a role in the industry. The Beast at Kings Island opened up that year. It's the longest wooden coaster in existence right now, even to this day. And some people even say
it's had a few years.
Yeah, but it's arguably also one of the best wooden coasters in the world. A lot of people will say that. I don't feel that way at all. However, there are many accounts of people saying that it is one of the best wooden coasters in the world. So that for what that is. It all depends on opinion. But in terms of historical significance, there's no question what that played. It really showed the industry what you can do with a coaster. It doesn't have to be a short little thing. I mean, it can be a massive, beast. Pun intended there. Also, Wilderness Run opened up that year, which was, many people go, I'm sure a lot of people looked at it and were like, what does that do? Why is a kiddie coaster Cedar Point? Why is that important? I don't think a lot of people realize the historical significance behind that. That was the first Intamin coaster.
Yeah.
So, that's pretty, we don't know what.
You got to start somewhere, and if they didn't start, well.
We don't know where they'd finish. Yeah, we don't know where they'd be right now. It's crazy. So, a lot of people probably
building Eiffel Towers and oil derricks.
Exactly. A lot of people see that and they go, "Why is that even listed?" But you have to remember that. And I think a lot of people would probably change their minds and vote for the other, vote for this year because of that. But a lot of people didn't realize that. Also, Big Thunder Mountain Railroad opened up that year, which is now considered a classic ride. It's a Disney icon. It was a huge thing, and it was themed. It was one of the first like big themed rides. I mean, they built a whole mountain. I mean, it was crazy. It's a huge success. It's still one of the most popular Disney attractions of all time. So, I mean, there's definitely a big explanation for why it is historically significant. Also, Rolling Thunder at Six Flags Great Adventure opened up that year. So that was the first dual wooding coaster to take its own unique layout with each coaster. So there's two coasters with dueling coasters normally, or there's two coasters normally with dueling coasters. Sometimes they have the cloned layouts and they do the same thing on each side. But Rolling Thunder was the first to actually take a separate course and do different things on each side. And that was a huge success for Six Flags Great Adventure, and it really made that park a destination. Revolution at Blackpool Pleasure Beach also opened up that year, which was Europe's first looping roller coaster, which was awesome. So that's awesome. That makes sense why that would be historically significant. And that's 79. So, I mean, that's 5 coasters right there that really changed the industry any way you look at it. So, that being said, 2001, this competition, pretty arguably, like, very solidly. We had 40 votes for 2000 and only 15 for 1979. It was 73% to 27%. So 2000 pretty much dominated. And, I mean, looking at the content of the coasters, it makes sense. Go through those real quick. Millennium Force at Cedar Point, Boulder Dash, Lake Compounds, Dominator at Geauga Lake and later Kings Dominion, Superman the Ride at Six Flags New England, Steel Dragon 2000, Nagasaki Spa Land, The Legend at Holiday World, The Boss at Six Flags St. Louis. I mean, the list goes on. There's Superman Krypton Coaster. It goes on. There's so many good coasters this year. So I think in terms of
only 7 pages on RCDB.
Yeah, I mean, this was like the year of coasters. I know people talk about like the 60s and 70s being like the renaissance of coasters. You know, that's when they got popular again. But 2000, in terms of like how much was added, was the year of coasters. And as far as I'm concerned, and in terms of how many were added and how many quality coasters were added, I think this is the year of coasters. I don't know if it's the best year of coasters, but in terms of how much was added quantity-wise, and I mean, looking at the overall quality of some of those rides, it makes sense why that won. And I think a lot of people looked at that and said, look at all the coasters that were open that year. There's no way, you know. Yes, 79 was historically significant, but it just isn't on the same level, I think, in some people's mind. I tend to lean towards historical significance as being a more important factor because without that, we wouldn't have 2000, you know. Without Beast, we might not have Millennium Force, you know, and things like that. So it's just, it's important to realize historical significance behind things and not just care about the greatest things. I mean, because you think about, some people don't like the Beatles, for example, but I think every musician in history can appreciate what the Beatles did for the music industry. They changed music, and almost every musician has always said that they were influenced by the Beatles in some shape or fashion. So I think I tend to think about that when I'm thinking about roller coasters, implement that into this situation. Yes, you might not like some of the coasters that opened in 79. Yes, they might not be your favorite coasters, but without them, there would not be a Steel Vengeance. There would not be a Fury 325. There would not be an Intimidator 305. So I think when we're talking about how important these years are, that's what this was all about. I don't know. You guys voted. You think 2000 is the most important coaster year of all time. I don't know. I have mixed feelings on this. It was 5 and 1.
They got rid of 1989 a couple weeks ago, so you know that was my heart was in 1989.
Yeah. Well, it's finally come to an end. 2000 is won. Again, this is totally up to the audience. So it was a good poll. I think we had a lot of upsets. A lot of good years made it. I remember the 10 seed 1959 made it a long way. I think it made it the Sweet 16. That was pretty exciting. Really, all the years that we didn't have any really years that I thought shouldn't be there. You know, in that sense, like I didn't think there was any years in particular that you know weren't good years. Everything that made it to the later rounds made sense, and I agreed with most of them. I know you didn't agree with 89, but with 89, 89 lost to.
It got pretty far. I'm satisfied overall.
Yeah, it made it to the Elite Eight.
It's still my heart, you know.
Made it to the final 8. 84 was such a good year too, though. I mean, you had Big Bad Wolf, and I think you had, what was it? Kings Island's first stand-up coaster. Well, that was like sand. I don't even remember the name of
Yeah,
it.
King Cobra.
King Cobra. I was thinking Sand Serpent for some reason. That's at Busch Gardens, Tampa. But whatever. So there were some good years there. I mean, it all made sense. 2000 came up victorious. That's what we have as the champion of the Battle of Ages. So wow, I cannot believe we're saying that. That's it. That's the final round. That's the last. I know that's the last episode title. I know the past like 5 or 6 episodes have been called Battle of Ages round whatever. So that's the last time that you'll see that on the episodes. We're done with that, and we're finally having a new weekly poll. And it's for a long time we have not said anything on the weekly poll, but now we have a new weekly poll. And I wanted to.
We used to do weekly polls once upon a time.
Wait a second. There's a segment on here that we've just newly discovered again. It's the weekly poll. And the weekly poll this week is we want to hear you guys' thoughts on when you think the parks are going to reopen. We're trying to stick away from Corona because I know a lot of you guys are probably tired of hearing about that, and this is your escape, listening to podcasts.
That's why we wash our hands. We wash our hands to stay away from Corona.
So I promise you, like the next couple of weeks, we're going to try to steer clear of that, especially if there's not any news. We're not just going to keep dragging it out. But I think this is an interesting poll because I want to see what you guys think of what possibility of the parks opening, So we're going to have 4 options there. It's going to be early summer / late spring, late summer, fall, or winter. When do you think the parks are going to reopen? We'll see. Try not to let optimism and positivity guide you here. Try to be pretty realistic and logical about this. If you can provide some reasoning behind it, that would also help. So if you want to write in something as well, that would be great. So yes, that's about it for this episode of Kosher Talk. It's been an episode. I don't know how to call that. It wasn't fun particularly, but it was Kosher Talk. It was Kosher Talk. Your source for everything.
It was.
It was your source for everything roller coasters. I've been James Barber.
And I've been Bob Mertz.
And if you want to check us out on social media, you can. Twitter at @KosherTalk_pod. Check out Bob's personal kosher account. Not really personal account, but his kosher account, Kosher Talk Bob. Facebook at Kosher Talk Pod. Instagram at Kosher Talk Pod. If you want to contact the show, contact koshertalkpodcast.com/contact. And if you want to email me with anything, if you have audio files you want to send us, if you have any updates that you want to send in, send it to my email, james@koshertalkpodcast.com. Thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll see you guys all next week. Bye, guys. Alrighty. We didn't get to an hour this week, but that's all right.
What's that?
It's like the first show in like the past 7 episodes that we haven't gotten to an hour. But that's all right.
We didn't?
Nope, we got to 52 minutes.
Wow.
That's fine.
Yeah. Just,
all right,
I guess I'm just thinking it felt longer, but I guess we've been talking.
Oh
my
God, I know. If we did an off-topic podcast, we'd have like a 2-hour show right now.
Oh my God, people. I don't know if how would we limit ourselves on an off-topic podcast?
I would say if we
how
do
would
45
we say,
minutes. I would say we do 45-minute podcast.
That way they end up being an hour and a half.
All right, everyone on the live stream. We're gonna discuss some podcast stuff. Thank you guys so much for watching.
See you guys. Go wash your hands.
Wash your hands.